now get to invite Pierre Thiam, an author, the founder and president of Yolélé, and the founder and executive chef of Turanga to the podium. I love Pierre, so please give him a round of applause. Nice to see you.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Wow, Tara. I'm going to try. So, my name is Pierre Thiam, and I'm a chef from Senegal. And early in my career, I've decided to look for that region of my origins as inspiration for my cuisine. And this really came organically. I was a young cook in New York City in the early 90s. And New York, it was exciting to be a young cook. It was the food capital of the world. But there was a problem with that world. Africa was absent. And I saw this as an opportunity. And I'm telling you this story because it's all connected. How did I get to this place here, platform talking about climate change? It happened organically, following that journey. The journey that took me from finding inspiration from that tradition, following that, opening restaurants, writing cookbooks. And as I'm writing cookbooks, seeing other opportunities, one even bigger one, because as I'm writing recipes for the cookbooks, I have to think of substitutions for ingredients, because those ingredients that make the wonderful flavor of West African cuisine were absent in the market. They were not accessible to my audience. What should I think? Why should I think of substitutions? I asked myself. The idea of starting a company that would bring those ingredients and make them accessible, but in addition to bringing those ingredients, making sure that those ingredients are selected as those that are underutilized, ingredients that are good for you and good for the planet. And it happens that Africa still have hundreds of those ingredients that are being ignored by our food system. And on that journey, I started asking myself that question. What if the future of food relied on those ancient ingredients? What if Africa, even a deeper question, what if Africa could feed the world? Let me explain. We all know that our food system, we agree, we're all here for a reason. It needs to be gutted. And Africa happened to have over half of the world's, what's remaining of the world's arable land is actually in Africa today. In addition to that, we also know that one of the main things that we need to do about the food system is to diversify our diet, is to return to a type of agriculture that is multi-cropping, away from the monoculture that got us into this mess, actually. And African small farmers are still practicing this type of agriculture. Regenerative agriculture is not a buzzword over there. It's a way of life. They've been doing it for thousands of years. So when I started this company, Yolélé, we decided to select one ingredient. It was our Trojan horse. It's an ancient grain called fonio. It's been cultivated for over 5,000 years. It grows in poor soil. It's drought resistant. It's very, very nutritious. It's quite versatile, and it cooks in 5 minutes. So it was checking all the boxes. We decided to introduce it to the market, and we wanted to introduce it in a way that not only appeals to the conscious consumers, but in addition, we wanted to make sure it has an impact on the environment. It has an impact on the small farmers that are growing it. And that's the only way we need to rethink our food system, is by including the small farmers and supporting them. There are today hundreds of other crops like fonio that can regenerate the soil, that can restore the soil. But if we do it in the way that we know how to do agriculture for the past 100 years, the way it's been happening here, the result of actually the heritage of the plantation system, we are going to hit a wall. We cannot afford to allow this land grabbing that's happening in Africa now to return to the same type of agriculture, which is going to destroy the soil, mass irrigation, mass chemical implementations to make sure the same crops return on our shelves. This is what we are facing today, and we are facing it, and we have no choice but to fight. It's an uphill battle, but we have to fight it with all our might to make sure the small farmers that are growing, that have been responsible for bringing these crops like fonio to us, are the ultimate beneficiaries. And if we do so, we are also the winners because we will be able to have a diversified diet, access to a diversified diet, a healthy diet for our health. Actually, it's better to stay away all these chronic diseases that we know today are directly related to this limited diet that we have been imposed upon. So this is the situation that Yolélé has been doing, Yolélé, our company. We started within 7 years to bring fonio by branding it to the market. Today, you can find this grain across the United States in the supermarkets like Whole Foods and Targets. We have fonio introduced into other industries, which is when you really have an impact. We have the brewery industry now supporting this movement, and we started a movement called Brewing for Impact with the leadership of Brooklyn Brewery, and today Carlsberg joined. Guinness is about to launch a fonio beer, and 9 other breweries, even one in China, is launching a fonio beer. But we need more than that. This is the way to go, but we need the Barillas, we need the Nestle's, we need the Kellogg's, we need all of those big companies to play their role and be contracting the small farmers to get fonio and amaranth and millet and sorghum and bambara groundnuts, which is an amazing bean that is traditionally grown in rotation with fonio. That's the way it needs to happen. Then we need to support it so that it's done in respect of the season, respecting the rhythm of the season, the rotation, the multi-cropping, the way it's been done in Africa for thousands of years. And if we fail to do that, what we have in front of us is products like fonio would disappear. They disappear because they don't have access to the market. The numbers are scary. We have lost close to 90% of our plant biodiversity for the past 100 years. The big majority of it has disappeared. So it's going to happen. And we have to stop thinking of these seeds that disappear as just commodities. They are not just commodities. Food is culture. Every time a seed disappears, we're losing. For the case of fonio, that would be 5,000 years since the time it was domesticated in West Africa. We're losing the stories of the recipes that's been transmitted generation after generation. We're losing the knowledge, the farmers. We're losing so much. And that is really what we have to think now. When we're enjoying our meal, we have to think of it as not just food. It's culture. We're enjoying culture, and we cannot afford to let these seeds disappear. Otherwise, we lose culture. We have a civilization that's declining. And on the other side, winning this battle is making our food much more delicious. So that's really what I would like to share with you today. And I hope I have new supporters of fonio consumers and others. There's really hundreds of them. We can win this battle, but we need to make sure all of us are joining forces to do it. Thank you.
Woo! Thank you, Chef Pierre. So nice to see you.